Tell us your name and tell us about your project.
Yes, my name is Clinton Davidson, and I was a part of the Davidson and Germer experiment, in which we produced an experiment like the photon slit experiment, where that verified the duality of a light particle or a light as particle and a wave. We were trying to see if matter also exhibited um, characteristics like a wave and a particle. And how we did that is we set up the experiment to fire electrons out of an electron gun at a nickel crystal, and what it was reflected from there, and we collected the electrons with a detector that we can move around the crystal. And what we actually got from the experiment was results that showed that matter could actually act like a wave, because as we moved the detector around the crystal, we got different amounts of diffraction based on the angle that the detector was at.
What were you guys trying to do or find?
Like I said earlier, what we were trying to do is we were trying to verify uh, that matter could actually not only interact as a particle, but it could act as well as a wave, which we successfully did.
Where did the project or experiment occur?
We actually did the experiment in a place called Bell Laboratories up in New York.
What other significant events were happening around the world at the time?
Let me see, the 1920s. There's a lot of events actually. Some pretty bad things. This guy named Adolf Hitler formed the Nazi Party, but thankfully he failed in overthrowing the German government. But another bad man named Mussolini, he succeeded, and he's installed a fascist government over there, as well as Stalin. He succeeded, and he's now a Soviet dictator. But I mean, on a much lighter note, we see jazz was invented. We had our first transatlantic flight, actually this year, and as women got the right to vote. Another bad thing. This group called the KKK, man, they have just been causing havoc. Just a bunch of bad people. Um, Back on good things, let me see. The first affordable vehicle just got put back into production. So, I mean, some bad things, some good things.
All right, who else was involved in the project?
We had another physicist working with me. His name was Lester Germer. Like I said, that's called the Davidson and Germer experiment. He was working with me the entire time over at Bell Laboratories.
What was your role in the project?
My role, I mean, like I said, I worked alongside Germer. We were just experimenting, investigating the fact that matter could act like a wave. Quantum physics is big. We were just trying to make some big breakthroughs and verify how things interacted.
All right, what impact did your project have on the physics community?
The biggest impact was really good as we um, verified this theory by a physicist known as Louis de Broglie. Came up with this excellent theory and came out with this equation that you could relate the wavelength of a matter particle to Planck's constant over its momentum. So our experiment actually verified his theory, which got him the Nobel Prize. And later on, we they started using the electron gun and the different wavelengths it provided to get better images from things like the electron microscope, which you couldn't get any smaller images based on the light you could get out of a normal microscope. So they can get the wavelength from an electron and what it gives off to get much better pictures of much smaller particles.
All right, what inspired this experiment?
What inspired it was quantum physics was just coming about, a new theory, the fact that we had things that we thought we knew. We thought we knew light was only a wave, but then on the photoelectric effect, it interacted as a particle, and As that came into question, that we verified that it was a particle and a wave, we thought, hey, maybe matter does this too, as it could interact as a particle and a wave. So De Broglie came up with his theory, and we just saw it out and we ended up validating it.